Okay folks, back in Bristol yet again, and today we're going to be watching The Equalizer starring Denzel Washington and Chloe Grace Moretz. Great actress, by the way. Now, we know with Denzel Washington, he always brings it to the table. Pelican Brief, Philadelphia, Much Ado About Nothing, and Training Day, which I heard was very highly acclaimed. Never got the privilege to watch that. Denzel plays Robert McCall, a guy who just wants to leave his mysterious past behind him, just have a quiet life. Then he sees stuff go down that he is not cool with, happening to a young girl named Terry, and he decides to do something about it. From what I've been hearing, this is a major, solid thriller that touches a nerve with some people, but that's the sign of a good movie. If you can actually get somebody to feel sympathy for characters, you know you're doing your job properly. This is going to be the first movie I've seen Chloe Moretz in since Kick-Ass 2, and this girl has come on leaps and bounds since then. I don't know what it is about this girl. A once-in-a-generation performer, and you can quote me on that. But in 2.5 hours, is this going to add to another decent check-off list on her already stunning resume, along with Denzel's, who is legendary? In 2.5 hours, you're going to find out. Later. Okay folks, that was The Equalizer. As ever, we'll start with story. Story is got a very decent, solid pacing where you just see Denzel's character go about his every day-to-day routine, ritual, schedule, just wants to mind his own business, keep out the way, but he's kind of like a father figure role to a lot of people in this movie, one of which, Ralphie, who he's trying to encourage to actually go for that job as a security guard. But more importantly, he's quite a huge father figure to Chloe's character, Terry, or Alina, who unfortunately is given the role as a sex trafficked child, which is disturbing, and it's kind of annoying that that kind of crap still goes on in this world, but this world is not perfect that we live in. It's one of those movies, it gets you thinking, and it keeps the flow of the pace going. It's not quite the same rollerball action that you'd see with something like The Mummy, or movies where the motion is is turning in action, but the motion is still turning, but it's a very deep, methodical, and very emotionally weighted movie. You could tell that Robert just wants to be left alone. He just wants to have like a normal everyday life. And when he sees what happens to Alina, to such a degree where it's like, no, this won't go right. So writing, I can't find any faults with it. Cast turned in a solid performance. Denzel's Denzel. He is one of the greatest acting legends that there is in this business. When you consider like the things I've talked about earlier, things like The Pelican Brief. Was it Philadelphia? Yeah, that was with Tom Hanks. And then Training Day, and The Bone Collector as well. That was a good one. Now, Chloe wasn't in this movie not more than enough that I would care for. But when she was in there, you could tell this girl is troubled. She wants a way out of this existence that she's burdened with to such a degree. But you could see that there's hope. She's longing for something that, she wants to live a normal life. She wants to have that sense of, having peace. And the interesting thing is, Chloe actually did put on weight for this role, because they actually asked her, to put on maybe something like 10 to 15 pounds just to look the part of the character of Alina. And they said, oh, she can't do it, too skinny girl. Nope, she went and looked the part. She even went and did research with a charity group in Los Angeles called, the Children of the Night, where she would actually hang out with girls that had been raised in sex traffic situations that are now trying to put their lives back together, and they're all very happy individuals. And you can tell Chloe is so methodical and so into what she does with these method acting roles that she is up there with the likes of Michael Caine, Carl Urban, Christian Bale to a degree, my opinion. And, you know, I mean it when I say this girl is a once-in-a-generation performer. And in the case of Martin Chokas, who plays Nikolai, I'm hoping I pronounced his last name correctly, he doesn't come across as a stereotypical antagonist. He's actually very subtle. He's not outlandishly loud or rageful. You know, you can see emotions are always turning in his eyes. You can see that he's always doing something, and that is the sign of a very, very good villain in a movie, is where, like I say, they're not being brash, they're not being loud. You can see that they're thinking. Score's decent. The score really actually helps to sort of see what's going on in Robert's mind. You know, the little gears are turning of what he's trying to put his plan into motion and whatnot. And the director, Antoine, I'm just going to say Antoine because I don't want to pronounce his last name and then pronounce it wrong and then get a bunch of hate come back, so that's not what I'm here to do. I want to see more of this guy's work. Solid director, knew what he was looking for, and he got the best out of Denzel in this movie. As a personal recommendation, a must. Next time, we delve into the Halloween season that is After Dark. Until then, folks, I'm MJ Knight, signing off from Cabot Circus, Bristol.